Something that has been predicted for decades, a shift in demographics in America, now sparking some fresh conversations about race and what it means politically. An analysis of census data from the Brookings Institute projects the number of white Americans will fall below 50% for the first time ever in about 20 years, 2045. At the same time, more Americans are multiracial and they don't identify exclusively with one box. Julia Manchester, national political reporter for The Hill, joining me right now. Okay, Julia, I read this article published in The Hill. More and more people have a child, a grandchild, another relative married in who is from another ethnic group. 4 in 10 people, according to this Brookings data, identify with a group other than white. So you can't put people in boxes. How exactly will demographics and politics be determined in the future?
Yeah, Adrienne, on the demographic front, it's kind of a question. I think demographers and people who study race are really trying to figure this out because it's ultimately really up to that own person to determine what they identify as. And I think there might be even some questions among multiracial individuals or biracial individuals what they should identify as. So we're sort of getting into new territory when it comes to labeling yourself or if you are multiracial or biracial as a specific race. Now, in terms of politics, look, I think this definitely changes the game a bit because we do know that political parties have targeted specific racial groups. So, for example, the Democratic Party has a very good relationship with Black women. We know that Black women in many ways are the backbone of the Democratic Party when it comes to voting for Democrats in major elections. On the Republican side, Cuban Americans have played a big role in helping turn Florida, for example, red. So when you have, biracial people, multiracial people, it's going to get harder to target those specific people because it's up to those people to determine what they ultimately identify as.
I'll be honest with you, just coming from a family that is multi-ethnic, this has been a conversation that's been going on forever. This is not new. So I was really looking for the new here with this information, but you mentioned Cuban Americans in Florida. Whether or not more Hispanic Americans are identifying there isn't as newsworthy as in other states. What are trends pointing to in terms of the Hispanic American vote?
Yeah, so I think one thing to really watch out for when we talk about the Hispanic American vote is that that's a very broad term. There are many different, types of backgrounds that a Hispanic American might come from. So, for example, in Florida, where I'm from in Central Florida, the Puerto Rican vote is very important. And then you have the Cuban American vote in South Florida, the Miami area. Those two, voting groups vote very differently, with Puerto Ricans tending to maybe lean more to the left, Cuban Americans lean more to the right. Now, in Texas, for example, that's one part of the country where we've seen Republicans really start to aggressively target Hispanic American voters, Mexican American voters, in that state. However, last election cycle, we saw that Republicans going into the election were very optimistic about this group. However, we saw that group still performed better among Democrats. So really, going forward, unclear how these different types of groups may perform, however, in elections. But I think it's important to point out Hispanic Americans, very broad group. Same thing with Asian American Pacific Islander voters, very broad group, and they might vote very differently from one another.
Well, and I think not even a secret in America is no group is a monolith. And demographers and statisticians, they know this. And they know it's going to be increasingly more difficult to just say, oh, this group believes one way and this group believes another way. Julia Manchester, thank you so much. Increasing diversity ethnically and increasing diversity politically, for sure. We appreciate your time, as always. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.